Good evening. I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Show Low City Council to order. By roll call, see that all council members are present. I'd like to welcome you back tonight in public. Would like to also welcome those who are here tonight in the audience. There's a few of us here, as well as those who may be watching tonight on City 56 or streaming on YouTube or some other device. So we're grateful that you're here. At this time, we'd like to begin with an invocation. I've asked Councilmember Clark if he'd lead us in an opening prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilwoman Kakavas. Those who'd like to join with us, please stand.
Our Father in heaven, we thank thee for this opportunity we have to gather as a council and with staff. We're thankful for the manner in which we're able to reconvene today in person and be able to see one another and to associate with one another. We are grateful for this community which we live in, for the people who live here, and for the way they make this community feel like home. We pray that as we deliberate on the business of the people, that we will be able to have an open mind and an open heart, that we'll be able to discuss and dialogue with camaraderie and with respect for one another, that if we disagree, that we might be able to disagree in a manner which is civil and which has been lacking in the political environment at the national level. Pray that we'll remember that we are a community first, that we are friends and family. Pray that we will make decisions that are in the best interest of the people, and that we'll be able to be led and guided by thee, that our capacity will be enlarged by thee, and that we'll be able to make decisions that will be for the best interest of the citizens of Show Low, for us now and for our future. We're truly grateful for the people who sacrifice their time and their energy and who put themselves on the line during this COVID-19. Pray for the healthcare workers and for our first responders, and ask that thou please bless them and help this pandemic to come to an end shortly, that life will be able to return to normal, that we'll be able to continue on with this great community. We ask and pray for these things in the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Councilman Clark and Councilwoman Kakavas. Appreciate that. I just want to start this evening by thanking our citizens for their diligence, for the employees and staff, for everything that has gone on the last couple of months, and the way that we have been a community that's come together and worked. And just interesting, a tidbit that I don't want to take anything away from any individual or any individual group, but something that just kind of hit me and stuck out through this whole thing is we talk about people that maybe have lost their lives, or people who the ultimate result of this COVID-19. And I was having a conversation with some local people here, and they said, many times we always recognize the first responders, but how often do we recognize the last responders? And it kind of hit me a little bit. What is the last responder? It's those people who have to go into the home, who have to take the body out, or who have to dress it, who have to prepare it for the last rites, or the last viewing, or the last time that that person will be upon the earth. And many times we have to look at that in our whole life of, are we a first responder? Are we there? Are we a last responder? Are we there? And I think it's just, do we respond, and how we respond and how we do things. And so I just want to thank everybody for being, I'll call you all responders, and for what we do. And may we always remember this time that we bonded together, this time that we worked together, this time that we made the most of this, because we got back to basics of what's most important in life. And I think we'll all say that our family, time we spent together, time we maybe knelt in prayer, time that we maybe put what was most important in our lives and had a chance to look at it. May we not forget the great blessings we have of living here in the White Mountains and being associated. But thank each one of you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor.
Tonight we'd like to begin here. We got called to the public. Any citizen desiring to speak on a matter that's within the jurisdiction of the city may do so at this time. Know that your time needs to be limited to 3 minutes. See nobody moved or asked to be called to the public. Do we have anybody at home by chance, or did I forget to do what I was supposed to do on this phone? Nothing there. Okay. All right. We have tonight a special event here. It's the first item. And I don't know if I'm trying to hold this up. We had some of our cheer stunts who, you guys pass this out and hold this up maybe here as I read this proclamation here if we can. Whereas on Saturday, February 7th, 2020, at the Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix, Arizona, the Shoalo High School varsity cheerleading team won its 8th state championship. And whereas the city of Shoalo recognizes excellence and dedication by the cheerleaders, their parents, the coaching staff, and the administration, the student body, and the community, and whereas the city of Shoalo recognizes outstanding sportsmanship by their cheerleaders, their fans, and their coaches, and whereas the city of Shoalo recognizes the desire, determination, and discipline of each cheerleader and the team's collective determination. Now, therefore, I, Daryl Seymour, Mayor, on behalf of the Shoalo City Council, do hereby proclaim May 18th through May 22nd, 2020 as Cougar Cheerleading State Championship Week in the city of Shoalo, and urge all citizens and the community to acknowledge this tremendous achievement dated the 19th day of May 2020. Let's just give our cheerleaders, cheer squad, fantastic, their 8th championship. They've received these T-shirts as a small token of our appreciation that they have done. And I think it's just fantastic that they've done that now for 8 times. And we wish they could be here tonight and we could see them do a cheer and a tumble or something. But, situation doesn't allow it. So, but thank you. And we appreciate their parents and the people who have made that possible. Next item we have on the agenda tonight is the consent calendar. Are there any items that need to be talked about or discussed individually on the consent calendar? Seeing none, I'll read those items. We have a consideration of the acceptance of the West Cooley Sewer Replacement Phase 1, consideration of a non-commercial ground lease with John and Christy Kelsey, termination of the ground lease with William Waller. We have the consideration of Resolution R 2020-08, acceptance of grant funds from the Arizona Department of Transportation for the South Apron Rehabilitation Design. We have the consideration of Resolution R 2020-09, accepting Federal Aviation Administration CARES Act Airport Grant Agreement. A consideration of the acceptance of grant funds from the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality for asbestos and lead-based paint abatement of 700 East McNeil Street. And we have the minutes of the regular meeting of the Shoalo City Council of April 21st, 2020. Look for a motion to approve. We have a motion by Council Member Leach, second by Councilwoman Kakavas. Any other discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? See that passed 7-0. Thank you. Next item is new business. We have a consideration of award of a construction contract for the 2020 rehabilitation and rejuvenation of public roadways, slurry seal. Mr. HEMESATH.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The 2020 capital improvement program included funding for rehabilitation and rejuvenation of city roadways utilizing slurry seal. The city's current pavement preservation plan includes a minimum maintenance of crack filling, patching, and resurfacing every city street and parking lot every 6 years. City crews are currently crack filling and patching repairs in the areas identified for slurry for this year. Rehabilitation includes all the labor, equipment, materials required to place approximately 290,000 square yards of Type 2 polymer modified asphalt slurry seal on selected city streets and parking lots, as well as applying pavement markings to the parking lots after they've been slurry sealed. Scope of work also includes installing approximately 17,000 square yards of polymer modified asphalt seal coat to the city's asphalt walking paths. So this is the year we're doing parking lots and paths with some selected streets. The engineer's construction estimate for the work was $439,000. An invitation to bid was published as required, and sealed bids were opened publicly with the following results. American Pavement Preservation, $489,427.70. BSS International, $498,000 even. On regional pavement maintenance at $661,948.00. Staff recommends awarding the 2020 R&R slurry seal construction contract, City of Shoalo project number R1920 to American Pavement Preservation in the amount not to exceed that $489,427.70. The bid tabulation is attached. There's an overall slurry seal map showing the citywide, the year we're doing, the color we're doing, and each individual map as well. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. HEMESATH? Councilmember Kelly.
Yeah, normally on this item, we come a little closer with the estimate. Is there a clear understanding of why that is off this year?
We did reach out after we received these bids. The last couple of months have been interesting. Some of these bids we've been throwing out. Normally, I've always heard oil controls this bid. Cost of oil didn't work for us on this bid for whatever reason.
Yeah.
The contractors I spoke to said he's extremely busy, and he says, I only have a little window here to slide you in, and otherwise it's going to be way later in the year. A lot of them blame the wet spring. I don't know if people are holding off their bids and all the work hitting out in the summertime, but the bid was higher than anticipated.
Yeah.
Not the highest, but among the highest square yardage prices we've seen.
Yeah, should have been 50,000 less. Instead of 50. I'm disappointed. Thank you.
You bet.
Councilwoman Kukovis.
With that 50,000 difference, do we have sufficient funds budgeted in the R&R budget?
We do. Yeah, we verified the count, and there was sufficient funds to award the contract. That's that total. That's
Councilmember Clark.
And what is the time frame that you're looking at completing this project?
usually this project takes about 3 weeks. Talking to the contractor, he wants to be on site in the city if everything goes well tonight. June 4th through June 6th, starting parking lot. Streets will start on June 8th. So I'd say by the end of June, we'll be near completion on it.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Got to look for a motion. Councilwoman Kukovis.
I move to award the construction contract for the 2020 rehabilitation and rejuvenation of the public roadways slurry seal City of Shiloh project number R-1920 to American Pavement Preservation in an amount not to exceed $489,427.70.
Thank you. We have a motion, second by Councilmember Clark. Any other discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That passed 7-0. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. HEMESATH. Next item is item 8B, consideration of award of a contract for Christmas lighting and decorations. It's that time of year already, huh? Mr.
Christmas in May. Thank you, Mayor and Council. The city's fiscal year 2021 budget includes funding for Christmas lighting and decorations for locations on city property. This work includes design, installation, maintenance, removal, packaging, storage, and transport of seasonal lighting decorations. The decorations will be installed in 4 public locations: City Hall, City Library, Public Safety Building, and Festival Marketplace. The city desires to utilize the uniqueness of its parks and facilities to create a dramatic holiday light display that will decorate and benefit the local community and its, did I say that right? The local community and its visitors. The term of this contract is for 3 years with 2 one-year extensions. The request for proposals was published per requirements. 3 proposals were received. Staff reviewed the proposals for compliance with the selection criteria and determined that HLC Productions met the requirements and also provided the lowest price. Although the pricing was not the only criteria for the selection, the pricing is presented to the council for their information. HLC Productions, $21,290.63. Flag Landscape / Christmas Decorator, $24,974.38. And the third was Artistic Holiday Designs, $64,503.85. Staff recommends awarding the contract for Christmas lighting and decorations to HLC Productions in an amount not to exceed $21,290.63 per year for a term of 3 years, and authorizing staff to approve up to 2 one-year renewals after the original 3-year term. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Cup. Any questions, comments? Councilmember Leach?
This HLC Productions, are they the ones that have done it in the past?
No, we actually didn't get a proposal from the folks that have done it in the past. However, HLC has done several municipalities down in the valley.
And then one other question real quick. Do we not do the ball fields anymore up there in the trees or?
The parks, there are some lights that are remnant lights, but in the past few years, we've concentrated all our lighting and decorations in the downtown area, City Hall, library, and those areas.
So no, we don't put any back in those trees
don't.
anymore? Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to tag along with what John, is there any way, I know we have other public buildings going down the street, is there any way that we can maybe in the next year or two start funneling some of that money in to try to get more lights going down the whole street all the way from the end except for just downtown? I think, people like that, the park with the lights in there too. So it's just something that hopefully we can think about and try to make it a little bit more.
Sure. I
We
mean,
can. So nothing against you and nothing
folks-
against the
you folks
park.
are the city council. You can tell us what you want
But
us to do.
just to try to get a little bit more. I think, I'd like to see some a little bit more down there. Thank you.
Main Street's been trying to really pump that up.
Any other comments, questions? Councilmember Clark?
I think this question might be for Mr. Brown. What if we're not satisfied with the first year? This is a 3-year contract, and we're not, that they don't do a good enough job during the first year, and we're not satisfied with that. Does the contract have like a termination clause for convenience that we can get out of it if we're not satisfied?
Okay. Any other questions? I'll look for a motion. Councilmember Leach?
I move to award the contract for Christmas lighting and decorations to HLC Productions in an amount not to exceed $21,290.63 per year for the first 3 years and authorize staff to approve up to a 1-year renewal.
Thank you. We have a motion, second by Vice Mayor. Any other discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That passed 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Gump.
Thank you, Mayor. And
Appreciate
if I could indulge you and council with one more point that I didn't make, this contract is actually almost 20% lower than what we were paying in the past few years. So
Great,
it is a
thank you.
savings.
So we can get more light.
Next item we have is a summary of current events. I'd like the council members of any current events they'd like to go over.
Let's have an event.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I just attended a Main Street board meeting via phone calls lately instead of in person. So if everybody's seen what's going on at the Deuce and the Ninth, where Pat's Place used to be, and it's kind of right there where the road goes through it now, we put a wall up there and have some signage there, show a little name by the turn of the card. We have some trees planted there. We're getting ready to plant some bushes, do some lighting. So just to enhance that corner really nice. And so hopefully we'll get that project done by the middle of next month. Hopefully we need to have everything all done. But hopefully it's something that people are going to enjoy and like and just see what's going on in the city of Show Low. Also, just to let you know that this weekend, the farmer's market is open. Is extended hours. The first opening weekend, that's this Saturday at 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock. There will be a lot of vendors there. They're going to be doing the distancing and hand sanitizers and pushing people around. So you can't be standing there talking and gathering and saying, oh, that jam is really good right there, and I would buy this and buy that. Just go ahead, keep on moving, and they're going to keep an eye on it. And we're going to try to get that thing going really busy. Every booth and space has been sold out. So it's should be a big thing. This is our 11th year of doing farmers market, so it's looking really nice. I do have one other comment I'd like to make. Since it's COVID-19, there's a lot of sacrifices and different things that everybody's had to do. And I just want to thank the mayor personally for the things that he's done. There's a lot of people who was making phone calls and wanted the city opened up as soon as possible. There were some that was pretty hostile about it, some that wasn't, some that knew what was going on. But, it's a catch-22 if you try to open the city up too soon and something happened, one death, and then the blame will be put on a lot of us council and the city. So taking that little time and extending it for another week or so, it just helped out a little bit. So, I don't think we like to take a roll of the dice and try to get things going and have a death or something drastic really happen. So he stood by his guns. He's did everything that he possibly could do with the CDC and with everything else. And I think he made the city safe. But I think all of us citizens made it safe. And talk about first responders and last responders. I got to put hands in gratitude out to the parents that had to take care of their kids and do the family stuff, and also not have a paycheck come in and still take care of everything that they needed to do. So thank you very much, Mayor, for your time and your patience, as not only as a mayor of the city of Sholo, but also County Board of Supervisors. And stick by your guns. And we're glad this thing is pretty much hopefully over, that we can get back to a somewhat normal routine. Just being here tonight, we're talking to all the council members. It's nice to see each other and talk and joke around. So thank you again.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilwoman Kakavas.
I just like to tag on to that. And Mayor, thank you for your comments. Started this meeting tonight. Very appropriate, and I appreciate that. I too appreciate the resilience in the spirit of our community. Our businesses have been patient. They've been compliant. People have reached out to them. Our staff has been very engaged with our businesses and helping them. But our community is rallying together, and I appreciate that spirit of our community so much.
Thank you, Councilwoman Kakavas. Councilmember Kelly.
Yes, thank you. I want to ask the members of our community to just try and imagine having a role of leadership at this time and realizing that each of us have a perspective. And I know exactly what the mayor should have done that he didn't do. And I know that he did some things just right. Well, you get what I'm saying. The opinions vary from one total extreme to the other. Do your best to realize that they are that varied and that you are one member of a community that need to do what you can, what I need to do to cooperate and to understand and to do the best we can to get through this. This is an absolute impossible situation to even hope that you can please most of the people most of the time. That probably isn't even possible right now because of the tremendous variances in people's opinion about what ought to be. We know there's a significant number of people who have been very outspoken about, oh my, you're opening it up too soon. It's going to be a disaster and we're going to pay a big price. There's no way of knowing that any one person who will come down with it, certainly, because it's still out there, would not have come down with situation being different. So I'm just asking for a lot of patience, a lot of understanding. Share your opinions as you feel you must. And I know because we've had our staff and our mayor be patient with me, that they've been patient with many others. I spoke with Mr. Mooter one afternoon, and he told me he just had 2 phone calls with extremely opposite positions. And he's got to go, yes, I understand what you're saying. Yes, I'm listening to you. And actually, no, it's not my decision. Oh, that is a wonderful position for him to be in right now. Not so comfortable for the mayor, not so comfortable for our governor, and so on up the line. but support the people who love and care about this community and love and care about you. Support them because of that position. And I don't mean to lecture you too much, but I've heard some people being very blunt and very not kind about people who have a different position than they have. And, you know, that's just a tough place to be. I ask you to reconsider at that point. And I thank you, Mayor. I don't envy the job you've had to do these last few weeks or will need to do these next few weeks. And thank you for doing it.
Thank you, Councilman Kelly. Appreciate that. Councilmember Clark.
Thank you, Mayor Seymour. Just to kind of reiterate what the Vice Mayor and the other members of the council have said, with COVID-19, we've been making some changes over at the school district, and we're trying to make it as normal as possible, but obviously COVID-19 prohibits that at this point. So I just wanted to, let the public know that the junior high is doing it's not a commencement, but it's an opportunity to celebrate the eighth graders this Thursday from 9:30 to 1:30. The eighth graders are invited to come over. They're going to get a little treat, and they're going to take a balloon and go and tie it on the fence there by the junior high, and kind of help the community recognize that these eighth graders are going to be promoting to the high school next year. And then for the high school, they're going to have a modified graduation ceremony. They're going to do a procession from the Kmart parking lot. Going to travel down the Deuce over to the high school. It starts on Thursday at 5 o'clock. The high schoolers have already been notified what they're going to do this year, as opposed to having the normal traditional graduation ceremony in the gym. We're going to have it in the parking lot where our graduates are going to be able to arrive in the vehicle with their families and friends. They're permitted one vehicle per graduate. They're going to, we've made some provisions so that we'll ensure that we follow CDC guidelines as far as social distancing, making sure that individuals are separated, but still try to celebrate those accomplishments. I actually came from a little graduation promotion event before this, and it was kind of interesting to see how, and I think all of us have been talking about that, how the community's really come together. The graduates at the time had the chance to talk, and they said they wouldn't want it, they wouldn't have wished this upon people, but they've had an opportunity to really grow closer to some of their graduates who they wouldn't have been able to do otherwise, because they would have been involved in sports and some of those things that took up their time and their energies. But instead of doing that, they were able to come together and become closer as a group, as a graduating class. And it's neat to see that positivity being able to do that. And so for those members of the public that are out in the city at that time, if you see a bunch of people driving down the Deuce Clubs and they have their cars decorated and stuff, just know what that is. And that's us trying to celebrate the graduates and helping them move on in that next accomplishment in their life. The second thing I'd like to do is I'd like to thank city staff. I know that they've been under tremendous pressure right now with COVID-19 and with making sure that the facilities and that they're responsive to the public. I see Sergeant Gilmore in the back there. The police department's done a remarkable job throughout this whole thing as far as following the CDC guidelines and making sure that they are on the front lines of this. And I also appreciate that, we've recently opened up the city gym, and we're opening up facilities, and I know that takes a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of thought, like Councilman Kelly talked about making sure that we're hearing both sides of that and ensuring that we're moving forward in the right direction, and we're taking all of the citizens' thoughts and opinions in line with that. So I want to thank the city staff for that. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to thank Mayor Seymour. It's kind of becoming, it feels like his funeral. Everybody's building him up right now, but I have a firsthand seat as the at the county to see what Mayor Seymour's done as a member of the Board of Supervisors, and it is remarkable. We are fortunate to have him as a leader at the county, and we are fortunate to have him as a leader at the city. He has worked tirelessly. He talked about being a responder and about showing up, and I think that some people in the community like to sit back on their keyboard and they like to take jabs at people, and I'd invite you to show up and be a responder like Mayor Seymour is. And I'm thankful to be a part of this council and have somebody like him as our leader. So thank you for all of you sacrificed. Good point.
Thank you, Councilmember Clark. Appreciate it. No. Just city manager, do you have a report?
Thank you. I just have a few things to report. The city's 22nd annual Project Clean Sweep kicked off this month. Show Low residents can dump green waste for free this week through Saturday, May 23rd at Dirty Deeds Green Waste located at 890 Cinder Pit Road from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Then on Monday, June 1st through Thursday, June 4th, we'll have the bulky item pickup at that'll be on your regularly scheduled trash collection day. And the same week through Saturday, June 6th, you can haul debris for free to Lone Pine Transfer Station from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're closed from noon to 12:30 for lunch. You'll need to take a current Show Low utility bill or identification showing your physical address. Next Monday, May 25th, is the annual Memorial Day service at the city cemetery, beginning at 10 a.m. to honor those servicemen and women who paid the ultimate sacrifice. The service will be conducted by the VFW with guest speaker Lieutenant Colonel Michael Babb, U.S. Army retired. Because of the COVID-19 virus, they ask that you bring your own chairs this year and practice social distancing. As you know, the 2020 census is underway. We've spoken about this a number of times. In Arizona, 56.1% of the households have responded to the census. The response rate from residents living in Show Low is 37.7%, which is significantly lower than the state's response rate. We want to make sure if you haven't seen the online form or the email to do the mail to do the online form, they're available on the U.S. Census Bureau's website at www.2020census.gov. Please be aware that census workers will be in our community throughout the summer and fall and will work on weekends, and they will visit any residents that has not submitted a census online. If you want more information or more information on how to do your census, you can contact Planning and Zoning Director Justin Tregaskis at 928-532-4041. And with this week being National Public Works Week, we do want to recognize and thank our public works employees for the incredible job that they do. They provide clean water, an efficient sewer system. They build and repair roads. They maintain the rights of way and remove snow, and they control ice. They do all the project, a lot of work within the city, and they're known for putting our customers first. They stay late and work on weekends as needed and respond to calls for service, and they do an excellent job. We commend them for their public service. And finally, as a reminder, a campfire ban was enacted by the U.S. Forest Service in the Apache Sitgreaves, Coconino, Coronado, Kaibab, Prescott, and Tonto National Forests. Igniting, building, maintaining, attending, or using a fire is prohibited on all 6 of the national forests in Arizona until June 30th, 2020, or until rescinded. Thank you, Mayor.
Can you give an update on graduation in high school?
It's just to follow up on what Councilman Clark said. They will do a procession. They'll go over to.
Go ahead.
They'll go over to the high school parking lot, but they're going to meet at the old Kmart parking lot, go on the Deuce Clubs and go over Clark Road and down Old Linden Road. The city has provided signs for each of the graduates that they'll pass as they go into the parking lot with their pictures and congratulations for their accomplishments there.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to thank Vice Mayor for helping put that together as well. A little tribute to our seniors and things, as well as Main Street.
I got one question.
Yeah.
You said the memorial service was at the VFW, or is it out at the cemetery?
It'll be at the cemetery.
Okay.
VFW is conducting the service.
At 10 o'clock.
Anyone else? Appreciate it. Thank you so much again. We want to thank our citizens and everybody, and we just encourage you to stay in touch, stay safe, stay connected, and stay strong as we get through this here. There are going to be some challenges. There'll be some events that we're deciding on as to what we do, but what we'll do it in the interest of safety, and we'll do it in the interest of what is the best decision with the information that we have at the time that we make it. And I just want to thank each one of you for your support and for your kindness, and as we continue. Scheduling of meetings, do we have any meetings that we need to schedule?
Yes, we have 2 vacancies on the Planning and Zoning Commission, and we need to look at the council schedule, see if we can schedule a special meeting, probably with an executive session, so you can do interviews. The 4 applicants are Stephen Douglas Roberts, James Hoffman, William Bess, and Don Wilson. And because of the agendas that Planning and Zoning has, we'd like to make those appointments as soon as possible, but we're just trying to see what's available for the council to do that. And we can schedule phone interviews if that's what you want to do. And we can even have you guys call in. It's up to how the council wants to do it.
It's a big enough room.
They can come here, yeah.
I don't want to do a phone interview.
What's a date, a possible time?
They have a meeting on Tuesday, right?
On June 2nd,
On June 2nd.
right? Next Tuesday, you could do it if you want to do it June 2nd. Prior to the meeting, we could. We don't have any study sessions scheduled that day.
Could we make that work on June 2nd, say 6 o'clock here, and we schedule, what is it, normally 10-minute interviews? We have 4 people, that's 40 minutes, start it, we'll be right close there.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no other business at this time, we need a motion to move into executive session. Some of the items that we have on executive session tonight are consideration and discussion conduct in order to avoid a resolution and litigation, Timber Mesa Fire and Medical District Agreement, contract with the Charlotte Chamber of Commerce, and discussion with the attorney, public body for some legal advice, and consideration of a rate increase by Arrowhead Mobile Healthcare, and discussion of the records exempt here, the executive minutes on April 5th, 6th, and the 17th.
So moved.
We have a Vice Mayor so moved, second by Councilmember Leach. Any other discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Any
opposed? Thank you. Thank you for being here. At this time, we'll just have executive session in here, and we'll ask for the public to go out into the lobby or they're excused. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Nice blue, by the way.